So this was a piece I did for fun after seeing the Final Fantasy 16 trailer when that came out. I was just really inspired by the designs of the summons and the music, because Soken is a god, and all of his themes are absolutely hype AF, but I really, really liked the theme for the trailer. I thought it captured a lot of the Spirit of Heaven's Ward. But yeah, I really liked the kind of darker, more almost like medieval gothic feel of a lot of the design of the game. It's kind of my personal favorite era of Final Fantasy, or kind of like time period for Final Fantasy to be based in, just because it harkens back to the original games. So for the composition of the piece, I actually kind of had a little bit of a kaiju meets gothic draconic feel in mind, again due to the just like inspiration and the designs from the trailer. So I went with this kind of gothic looking head with a more biblical, kind of angelic looking pose for the figure of the Bahamut. Bahamut is my favorite summon by quite a lot. Actually, I think my second favorite is probably Carbuncle. Weirdly enough, they are like almost polar opposites, but yeah. Anyway, so I wanted to go with that kind of composition, a little bit more biblical feeling. I went with a kind of a sweeping tapered triangle for the body, and then kind of inverted it with the wings to just give it a more dynamic presence. And I wanted to load a lot of the value up in the face and the hands and the limbs. The center of the body, I wanted to keep just a little bit more loose, not too specific. This wasn't really a commission or anything. It was just a personal piece, so I didn't want to spend too long on it, but I was really inspired. Another reason I wanted to keep the value in the head, the horns, the hands, and the scales is that I wanted to kind of accentuate the more offensive parts of the design, and then let, I guess, what you would call like the squishier parts fall back. I started the piece by just laying down a general gesture and then applying a lot of value on my line art layer. And I actually try to keep all of my value on the line art layer. Value means like how dark something is or how light something is. It's independent of color. So all of the black is what's called the darkest dark. So you kind of like lay down your darkest darks and then you build up your value from there all the way up to your brightest brights. So just an aside in editing, that is technically wrong. Building up your value would mean to make it darker. Light is a lack of value. More value means darker. Less value means lighter. Just wanted to specify that so there's no confusion. So as you can see, when I disable some of the layers, the color layer is actually almost completely flat. So what I'm doing is using that flat color layer as just a base, and then I'm using the line art and kind of like inking style layer to create my dark value, and then I'm actually using an additive light layer, actually two additive light layers on this piece, to add those highlights and the colors, just again so that I can isolate everything, keep everything under control. If you start to mix value and color in your layers, you can run into situations where you just kind of lose track of where things are in the piece, and things get left behind. You don't notice things until too late, or it can end up looking muddy. I have a little bit of an issue with that, partially because I do a lot of personal projects where I get far enough in the piece that I'm just relatively happy with it. Represents roughly the idea I had. And partially because I'm actually not super used to Procreate yet, or even really digital painting. I've only been doing it for maybe a year or two, seriously. And even that hasn't been as serious as I'd like due to just work and life. But this piece was actually a really nice exploration of techniques and different brush tools, blending layers, stuff like that. A lot of it for me was actually exploring highlight technique, just laying down those dark values and then trying to iteratively just pass after pass after pass, add more and more light to the piece. The overall effect of the light passes ended up being really nice transitional light down, for example, on the legs, with the scales by the knees especially. Those transitions from that more hard-edged highlight down where you see the side of the scale curving into the bluer highlights that are reflecting the kind of more mystical light that's coming out of the mouth of the Bahamut, and the light on the wings, all that. It's just pass after pass. One other design choice that I made with this Bahamut that I'm actually pretty happy with is the mane on the back and on the neck. I wanted to create a little bit more of a regal look for the Bahamut, give it not just this like pure like lizardy dragon, but more of a mystical dragon look. So yeah, that's the piece. I'm actually just kind of cleaning up right here, and here's what the final piece looks like. So if you like this speed draw time lapse, go ahead, like and subscribe. I'll be posting one of these every week for the foreseeable future, and I also stream Sunday, Monday, and Thursday around 6 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll be playing games, drawing, chatting, and if you want to see more of my stuff, get updated, hit that notification bell, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, hit me up on Twitch. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.